A day or so ago, I got an email from Wizards of the Coast regarding dragons. GameMasters here, and the core of that email was just a sales tactic to get pre-orders for the new 2025 Monster Manual. But within that email was a poll asking about what dragon you'd want to find if you were to approach a dragon's lair. Now, I have always been fond of red, the color itself. That's kind of the color dragon that I picked, along with 24% of everyone else that opened that email. 22% of them picked the blue dragon, 27% picked the silver, and 27% picked the gold dragon. We know from recent WotC news that they are changing up the looks and performances of dragons. And honestly, because the gold dragon was tied with being among the most wanted to see, today we're going to check out a sneak peek at the new 2025 gold dragon. But I also want to compare it to the 2014 version of 5th edition's gold dragon as well. Before we jump into comparing the stat blocks, I want to go over how gold dragons have been presented. Historically, gold dragons have dedicated themselves to fighting evil. Should you run across one in the wild, and you yourself are a good-natured alignment, then there's a pretty good possibility that the gold dragon could be a friend. Or at the very least, it won't see you as potential food. Food that a gold dragon craves, however, would be treasure, rare pearls, various gemstones, things of that nature. Yeah, they have an appetite to consume what we would normally spend on equipment and other goods, but should you run across a gold dragon's lair, you can expect to find treasure within. But do know that they usually place several magical wards in and around their lair, making it very difficult to remove that loot without alerting that gold dragon. Most gold dragons will make their lair in far out of the way places where they will have privacy to do whatever it is that gold dragons do. To that end, let's go ahead and compare the stat blocks. Looking at the 2014 version of the Ancient Gold Dragon, we can see that it's gargantuan in size and is of lawful good alignment, has an armor class of 22, 546 hit points, a speed and swimming are 40 feet, and flying is 80 feet. For strength, the 2014 Gold Dragon has 30, a 14 in dexterity, 29 in constitution, 18 in intelligence, 17 wisdom, and its charisma is 28. Dropping the 2025 version of the Gold Dragon in, and we can see that it's the exact same. Even skills have remained the same, with an insight of 10, perception of 17, persuasion of 16, and stealth right there at a +9. Both versions are immune to fire, have the same blind sight, dark vision, and passive perception, and both versions can speak common and draconic. Both still maintain a challenge rating of 24, but check out this major difference. In 2014, should you otherwise dispatch of a gold dragon, you'd see 36,500 experience coming your way. Dispatch one in 2025, and it's skyrocketed to 62,000 experience, or 75,000 if you defeat it within its lair. That is a pretty drastic difference in experience, and so far it's not been shared with us the justification for that difference, but further into the stat block, we can see that they both can breathe air and water, but the 2025 version has seen a boost to its legendary resistance, now being at 4 times per day, 5 if it's in its lair, as opposed to the flat 3 that it had in the 2014 version. Both have a multi-attack, however, its base attacks have also changed. No longer will it have a bite, claw, or tail attack. Instead, those have been replaced with something called Rend. Rend has +17 to hit and can dish out 19 slashing damage plus 9 fire damage. Initially it looked like they may have tried to combine the bite, claw, and tail attack into one, but this doesn't really work out that way. Not even averaging the BCT attacks gives you the 19 slashing and 9 fire damage, so all I can assume is that they are altering the fundamental base attack, and it will likely be like this with all other monsters that used to also have those 3 types of attacks. I get the why. It likely reduces space in the stat block, which in turn frees up more space in the book itself for more monsters, but still, I like variety, so I'm going to continue to use bite, claw, and tail attacks, but I digress. The Fire Breath weapon for both versions of the Gold Dragon has also not changed. Both exhale fire in a 90-foot cone, and creatures within that cone have to make a DC 24 dexterity save. Otherwise, they take 71 damage. One thing we don't see in the 2025 stat block is that WotC gave us is the weakening breath. While it's listed under multi-attack, they just didn't give us what it does. However, based on the other similarities, I'd wager that it's not changed and that, like the 2014 counterpart, it's still going to be a 90-foot cone with creatures caught within needing to make a DC 24 strength check. Otherwise, they will suffer from disadvantage on strength-based attack rolls, strength checks, and strength saving throws. While the 2025 version of the Gold Dragon states that it has spellcasting, it does not provide to us what those exact spells are, except we do see it that it gets Guiding Bolt, which the player version has a range of 120 feet and allows you to hurl a bolt of lightning, and upon a hit it causes 46 radiant damage, plus the next attack against that target has advantage. If I had to wager, I'd be willing to bet that the version the Ancient Gold Dragon gets isn't too far off from this spell. We also know that gold dragons will have spells that will allow them to banish foes and compel others to speak the truth. And again, remember, this is just a sneak peek of the stat block, not the full stat block. While the bulk of the gold dragon hasn't really changed, I think it's worth noting that the changes that we have seen suggests a move towards simplifying the encounter, possibly to help streamline and make things less complex for the dungeon master. But really, was it all that complex to begin with? I'll go back to replacing the bite, claw, and tail attack with rend. I can't see the former 3 attacks being all that complex to execute, and all I can figure is that it was done to reduce the amount of space that the text took up to allow for additional monsters. But let me know what your thoughts are on why they made some of the changes that they made down in the comments. And until next our paths cross, may it be that all the gold you just found in the gold dragon's lair isn't dragon byproduct from its diet of pearls and gemstones.